those lurks, because that's where Leaf is often his deadliest, is when he is slipping into the back line, unsuspected, getting the jump on the enemy. If he's going to be able to pull off timings like that, then G2 still are going to be in with a shout.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, the rest of this squad probably wants to have a bit of a bounce-back performance. Trent struggled yesterday on the fade, so that's very uncharacteristic for him. In my experience, you know, watching this team throughout the years, I feel like Trent is often one of their best, if not their best performers overall. So definitely looking to see him have a bit of a resurgence as we get ready, get into the pistol, and we are into the pistol. YZ with a frenzy on a bit of a check to make sure there was no tiles hit coming through. Two players here. Valen under pressure. Jogamo already gets Neff.
Already finding one. Gets the fadeaway back over onto the site. Go ahead and safely escape. So getting rid of that KO. Flashes now to try to work their way forward into the site. K-Knight taking an immense beating down to 6 HP here. Stays alive, you can see. Knowing if there's anybody still lurking here at Alley. Slow creep up from YZ, will be able to clear it. Levius, nice one tap, confirms presence of that second player. And the smoke will come through. BLG still looking to try to play around this side of the map, but it's like now they will go ahead, cut some noise. Start to explore other areas, but they've given up so much space because they've consistently been playing around this A main location, so they have no idea where the two other players that they hadn't really spotted out have been. So for all they know, Jonah P could certainly be lurking forward up in mid.
Yeah, look at this reclear. Really nicely done here by G2. Great call from Valen to retake this space. And they're going to get quick info that it's been a rotate. Now they're going to clear the trip, so BLG should also be pretty aware of what's going on. Held player.
Lurk here from K-Knight. Going to see if he can try to get the jump. Plays this out a little bit patiently, but it ends up costing him as Shaq reads the angle. Very nicely read. Stops Catastrophe from striking now. 10 seconds remaining as the plant gets ready to come through. For the safe one, Levius ends up going off of that. Now it gets taken down. The time is just not going to be on the side. Unless Trisha just kills them all. And there you have it. G2 maybe getting a little bit overzealous, wanting to try to stop that spike plan from going down, but all get into a position where Russia can collect 3 kills.
I mean, we saw yesterday what Russia is capable of. And he's popping off once again here to start. Oh my god, that is clean with a classic. Absolutely ridiculous. And Neff, very happy to see his controller showing up as well. So I'd say a really good round from both teams. I mean, I think a good read from BLG to pull back. You know, there's a haunt there, spot on the YZ, but he wasn't really committed to that.
Free fire, looks like here on the Jonah P just threw that wall, taking him down to 23 HP. Good early advantage is going to be found. Jogamo just looking to try to instill a bit of doubt here, a bit of concern about that flank as he clears out the tripwire. BLG just grabbing the orb here, playing Pac-Man as they want to try to funnel these into Neff and get that null command online nice and early.
For sure. And they are, once again, going to be rerouting. Too much pressure there over on the B side, so you anticipate on the eco your opponents are going to heavily stack one side of the map or the other. But they now see the boom bot. See if they want to keep trying to push forward towards A, if they think that Jogamo would be the one that's on his own. YZ going to be the first up to bat. Jogamo takes quite a bit of damage.
It does. Early advantage is now expounded upon his Valen. Similarly going to be taken down. Levius not wanting to overstep, but similarly continues to tag up these players, making the attempt that more unlikely. Spike now in play. Full site control here in the hands of BLG. See what G2 has. They try to break through. It's a decent little early shot coming through. Some damage across onto K-Knight, but the kill still looking fairly unlikely, especially as the flash connects. BLG are able to surround all the remaining players. Now it's just Jonah P to try to see if he can stop this from being a flawless.
Yeah, has a Sheriff. Definitely do some damage, but he's not looking the right way. It's going to be YZ with the stinger. Find the final kill there. As BLG comes through on their anti-eco very nicely. Doing a good job here. Again, you know, the same things that I was really impressed with them yesterday. Not overcommitting, you know, not making bad reads or going for gambles, trying to work the map, find their opportunities. Going for a flank there is YZ with the neon. So far, so good for BLG. Now it's going to be on to G2. Try to step up to the plate. See what they've got in store for us here on their bye round. Just a little bit of a haunt over the top to check if they were going to pressure A main, looking for that fast hitter G2. It's actually coming up mid. There is a crossfire set up. Trent and Valen ready for it.
Up flash through, tuck back, and Valen able to find one. Does get stunned up with a relay bolt, but looking to try to scale and pound him down. Eventually, Neff will be able to come away with that kill. Jogamo now going to be spotted out in a main. They try to challenge him for the fight, but ends up losing it. Trent at the same time does find Levius. So a bit of a back and forth brawl brings us now into a 3v3. Site open for the taking. How long is going to be the question? This main plant here for K-Knight. He's backpedaling away in the try to utilize this one-way smoke that they have set up. Neff, however, wants to try to take some space towards backside, but that is where everybody from G2 is at. Avoids the haunt. Getting spotted out though, and will get gunned down as the C's flying there at his feet. K-Knight going to be good for one more. Risha quick on the reposition. 6 bullets have remained. Has to go for the reload now. 1v2, tucked to the corner. The double face will come in, so decent damage dealt here by Bilibili, but they cannot get the bonus conversion.
Yeah, like the initial ideas here. Something, I was worried about with Neff when we last saw him on the KO was that the util wasn't quite there. This time around, the combo with him and Rushia with the flash drive into the paranoia, really, really good to back some of those players off on mid so they could really storm through there. And then Neff just W-keying his way in towards Valen, even getting the paranoia and just eating it and rushing forward. And then G2 able to find their response. I was a bit worried about this retake, but Neff there caught on a timing with the C's and the haunt as he was trying to cross back over to regroup with his teammates. Gets punished for it. Trent only on a stinger. Doesn't have enough money to go it. So that damage for BLG could be a difference maker. That extra kill they're able to find. Are going to get that null command. See what BLG wants to do. See Neff gonna pop it right away. Immediately smokes go up here. Oh, and Levius not ready for Shaq's position.
Not at all, but why is he sliding forward? Is able to find balance. The neural theft comes across. They realize, yep, okay, well, everybody's on this A site once again. Let coming through nice and early here. K-Knight tagged down to 20, has a bit of regen armor behind that. Sees the nade combo, not gonna be connecting. I think that shot should clue Wisey in to this position on top of the box. Knockdart does similarly find some damage. Showstopper now gonna be coming through. Free fire out. K-Knight able to find one. Rusha gonna be taken down by the ult from Jogamo. Held at bay here for the moment, but Jonah P applying pressure from the flank. Wisey does fall. Neff able to find one. K-Knight finds Jogamo, and now it's going to be the 1v2. Both players damn near no HP, but somehow Jonah P cannot get the kill onto Neff. Survives with 3. BLG get 3 on the round count as well.
Man, that is so close. Neff playing his life so well there. Righting some of the wrongs from the previous round. Able to keep himself alive. Just kept strafing. And Jonah P couldn't get him tracked down in time. Good hold on the backside by the Sova as well for BLG. Nice just spray down by K-Knight there. Anticipating the showstopper was just going fishing. And he didn't get the target he was looking for, but getting anything there is great. Now Rushia gonna try to anticipate that G2 might try to get a little bit aggro here towards A main, and that is just death. That is the end of Jonah P. A great dump there to flush him out of the corner.
Yeah, fantastically read. So understanding the tendencies of these players here. Similarly, Rusha gonna be able to find Jogamo. Pain continuing, and at this point, I have to suspect that G2 probably tooling around with the idea of a timeout call after the end of this round here.
Like this double down by Shaq. Are you going to anticipate that there's another player there? But it seems like BLG going to be doing their diligence, maybe.
Util aplenty, and no, it hasn't been spotted out. The fast lane cuts off the drone, so he actually gets no information on this whatsoever. The longer that he waits, the worse it's going to be. Neff, while trying to dodge the enemy Util, ends up catching line of sight. Shaq ends up paying the iron price. Played it so damn well. But ultimately ends up getting a bit undone by his own teammates.
That's one of those things. You love the idea, the execution just not quite there. And Neff really having a heater here. Another
one enemy,
or a 3K for him, I should say. And he is just doing a great job on the KO. Yeah, that one's a little bit frustrating. No doubt about it. And it's going to be an early timeout here from Josh to try to see if he can stabilize G2. Again, this is elimination match here already on day number 2 for them. Of course, you got Anders able to make the trip to join him as well, the analyst for them. Trying to see if they could figure out some answers to what BLG has been bringing. And honestly, it's just been a lot of really good reads from BLG. So I think now you're just going to have to mix up the game plan for G2. You're going to have to try some things that you maybe normally wouldn't, some things that you normally don't show on this map to try to throw them a little bit off balance, because it is one thing about BLG, that I've noticed so far this year is that if you can get them off kilter, it is hard for them to restabilize. They really sometimes just can't seem to find that groove again.
We saw that with the run back from Paper X yesterday.
Yes.
Be able to, get that into an OT.
Yes, this should do.
Certainly is a consideration, something that BLG themselves are well aware about. It's about finding that moment when you can kind of instill that tilt, take the advantage. YZ slides back to safety, getting the spot out here. Big reveal off the recon dart as well. Notes 2 players. Go their separate ways for now, but now Null Command going to be online for Neff.
Again.
Fury also there for K-Knight.
This is huge. And I like that they're taking their time off the back of this Null Command. Like in the previous round where Neff had it, he just popped it right off the rip and they went for it. This time, going to be a little bit patient. I think a Prowler might have just spotted YZ out. So he's going to have to reposition out of elbow. As Jonah P, Valen and Jogamo looking to try to clear that. But YZ had abandoned it. They're using the drone to try to show presence over on B to set up for this A hit. And G2 has bought it hook, line, and sinker. This is a great fake sell by BLG. It's all on to Valen.
Bailed them out of so many moments on the international stages, but does fall there as YZ takes him down. But I mean, this is again BLG just looking to try to play around with some timings, with some
30
lurks.
seconds left.
As there you go, K-Knight gets himself implanted on B, and as soon as Jonah starts to go for the wrap towards that A site to join in with the rest of the team, that's when the strike comes through. Now they find themselves 2 players down. The site has to be abandoned. The save call has to be made.
This is incredible macro here from BLG. I really like what I'm seeing. They sell a great fake. They get a kill. They feel like going over towards A is not going to be successful. They get the kill on the B, and then it's an immediate rewrap there, and there's not much G2 can do about it. And this allows YZ to do a little bit of hunting, and he got underneath the cam, and he finds Jog.
Just a missed timing there. Not sticking to it the entire time. Shaq now the one at risk to push forward. Risha not going to be snappy enough to readjust. So K-Knight might try his odds, but YZ now get the spot out. Low on HP, but just slides across, just dancing on him. And now Trent is very much at risk. Levius surrounding. Sharks in the water. Trent cannot snap on for the headshot. It's a 4K from YZ. It's BLG looking to run away with this attacker's side.
This is so impressive. I mean, I can't speak highly enough of the way that BLG is playing these rounds. It's
over.
Not only is it like textbook shot calling, but they're making great individual decisions. YZ in the heat of the moment there, doing a really nice job, not giving himself up to the hidden position of Shaq. He's able to get out in time, use the slide to get the kill. And they're able to track every single member of G2 down, take away all their guns, put them on a mostly eco. Spectre here. Some Stingers and a Sheriff. The ever dangerous, though, Stingers for G2. Something everybody that's ever played them is aware of. This is almost seemingly a buy round for them. But BLG, patience. Again, gonna use this drone. Now it's got to be in your head as G2.
Not ready yet.
Seen these drones, and you don't know if that's going to be the setup for the hit or not. Neff using the knife to clear the corner on elbow. Nobody there. So YZ immediately going to take this control, but Valen just going to let a smoke drop, and they're going to play pretty far back here, giving up a little bit of space.
A little gap here for Levius to try to play around, and Jogamo and Shaq do go ahead back away. Falling into the potential trap. Null Command, though, going to be popped over here as the A site take gets ready to come in from BLG. Load up a bit. Paranoia sent. Fast lane's there to obfuscate. As Levius is dragging across, finds Jogamo. Jack now fairly trapped in position. Valen gonna be spotted. They just flush him out. Relay both to the side. YZ swinging across, and they're not taking any chances. They want nothing. Give it over to the G2. Jack is still gonna be able to find one. Damn near gets a second. Maybe the neural theft in the end. A bit of an overcommit, but in the chaos, BLG still thrive.
Yeah, man, oh man. I mean, they're just so on point. They're checking every corner. They're not leaving anything to chance. They're following up nicely there, even though the fragment just a little bit off. YZ instantly recognizes it, knows that Valen's stuck in that corner, and wants to make sure that it's dealt with.
I'm out of here.
You know, even when there's little mistakes, Bilibili quick to cover them up. Hunter's Fury for K-Knight. YZ has an overdrive if necessary. Big buy round here for G2.
Quick exit attempt there from Jogamo, but ends up on top of the box, and YZ just hounds him down so very quickly as Valen is dead to the Hunter's Fury. And it seems like everything that G2 attempt, everything they try to throw at this, none of it is sticking, none of it is working. BLG just far too on point with their execs, their shots, their macro strategy. G2 again have to try to go for a save, but it is early doors. That spike just got planted, and they have plenty of money and plenty of time to go on the hunt.
Absolutely right. They should be throwing out just about everything they have at this. Try to root them out. And Boba will be Shaq. He just made some noise, so Rushia gonna know he's there. Maybe a little bit of a bait for Jonah P, and it works. Shaq finds one as well.
Can he find more? Down to a sliver of the spike, detonating YZ. Pushing forward, looking for the kill, and we'll be able to find it. Jonah P dead at the same time over at Market. Nothing retained, nothing held on to. BLG just ripping everything out of the grasp of G2 round over round.
It's just a great util dump there. The recon, you get the Hunter's Fury, flash in your face, who cares? Still finding the target is K-Knight. Narushia there, backing up his duelist beautifully, catches Trent trying to peek out of the smoke. Just everything accounted for by BLG, man. This is just textbook stuff.
It is.
So well coordinated.
And even though, okay, well, I'll have to hold that thought maybe. Slow creep up cam is situated. There's the toggle, the clear. Valen moving forward into his smoke. Relay bolt, not going to be dodged. Does get stunned up. Gonna peek forward into the pit, able to find one. Shaq with a nice headshot takes down YZ. Gonna be lost, however. The neural depth gets a reveal. Decay gonna be expiring on Risha. Back up. Fairly healthy numbers. It's Jogamo. Quick peek with the Stinger. Gonna be able to find too much value there. Reroutes around to Boba. Ult's going to be invested. Nightfall getting the hit. Levius, however, holding his own. And now they know Trent's position, and there's nothing more that he can do. 8-1, BLG continue to just absolutely dismantle G2.
Yeah, and this felt like it maybe could be a round where they're able to maybe stabilize a little bit here on their defender side, but it just isn't meant to be. Boombot there. Got some hops. But Levius absolutely ferocious on that hold from Boba. And that Nightfall invested on the eco. And are we going to see the second G2 timeout? Indeed. They need to fix this now. You know, sure, Sunset attacker sided, Copium, whatever. But you need to get a few rounds here on this defender side. And Josh and Anders gonna try to figure something out, but man, BLG look good.
They do, and I think that there's, you know, obviously the caveat. Leaf is not here.
Sure.
Shaq has had to step in fairly last minute, and that's going to be very, very rough for G2.
Absolutely.
So I think that some of the mishaps that we're seeing from them, understandable, excusable, but at the same time, BLG are playing damn near perfect Valorant at the moment. And that is not a sentence that I really expected to say. Because while they have been good, they've been to internationals. I mean, obviously, this is the squad that went and, they bested Energy twice in a row back at Champs 23. They have international experience for the most part. This is just far cleaner than we're used to seeing from them on all fronts. And that has relatively nothing to do with G2 lacking a member at the moment.
Exactly. I mean, I think what, and I talked about this a little bit yesterday, that, talking to Coach Bile, what frustrated him was just the breakdown of fundamentals for BLG. And so far, we haven't seen that yet today. And that's what's important for them, is when they play good, fundamental stuff, when Neff is making good reads, good calls, then they look like one of the best teams on the planet. When I was watching them in the preparations for Toronto, I thought this would be the best team coming out of China. I thought they had really good stuff, and they were so well drilled. But it was their mental that really started to break them, that started to crumble. So for BLG here, if you can come out, have a confident win against G2, I don't care who, the sub is or not. You still got Trent, you still got Valen, you still got Jogamo and Jonah P on that squad, and that is disgusting.
And Levius is just walking at him, and Shaq does well to go ahead and counter spray back through that cage. Foul tagged up for similar HP, so across the board, fairly even as got the glimpse there. Finds the punish. It's going to be G2 in with the player advantage for the first time, and God knows how long, but it doesn't last very long, unfortunately, as Valen does get taken down. Fragment going to be avoided. Shaq with a narrow little margin here, but they're not going for this plant spot, and I think YZ has spotted him. It's going to be Trent doubling up on the angle to go ahead and clear out YZ. Not just Neff and K-Knight. And timing to swing out. Neff finding the first. Approach coming in from behind.
Last player.
It now goes down to the 1v1, and Jonah B tagged up the 33, and Neff gets the job done. Timeouts be damned. BLG continue on their merry way, now 9-1.
Yeah, I mean, this is a brutal round for G2. You've got some good 1v1s that you're winning, some good trades that are coming through, but it's Neff again who's able to stand tall, find that big multi-kill round when he needs it most. I mean, just so ready for Trent there. And Jonah P as well. Another 3K for the IGL of BLG. What a showing he has had on that KO. And it is rough goings. Jog looking for a one tap, has the showstopper. Could be a difference maker in this round, but Neff with his third null command of the half.
They've been cycling these up so quickly, both just from contesting orbs early as well as just the fragging that he's put on display. And if he holds that, if they're able to get side access, then you just lose the showstopper completely as the null command comes through.
Right.
Thrown forward, gonna be matched by a Prowler. Quick clear.
I'm out of here.
Rotate over towards the A site. The double stack there from Jonah P. As well as Jogamo in position to try to shut this down. BLG looking like they're happy to just get the drone out, get the orb, and look to explore back over towards that B side.
I thought Valen for a moment there was going to take a page out of Munchkin's book and tuck into that corner with the judge, but
Camera taken out.
didn't really feel comfortable to do so. The wall up, and here we go.
Well, it is the null command here for the entry, so showstopper can come into play. We see the rotation starting to come through. Valen striking. They know that he's going to be in smoke. They know that he's going to be in main. They know that that judge was in play. And Shaq looking for a little bit more. Rolls over to the classic, but Neff is there to go ahead and bail out. YZ keeps him alive. Jogamo on the approach here from behind. Gets the spot out. K-Knight now in a rough position, and the headshot flies through. Two players left to contend with. The showstopper certainly could deal with one. Down below, YZ trying to trade it out, cannot do so. Neff will fall, and that's going to be a second round win here for G2. Still an opportunity to try to make this a 9-3 half.
Yeah, so some good ideas. Good positioning with the judge. I like the way Shaq is anticipating that BLG is going to overcommit to make sure that judge is dealt with from B main. And he gets a ton of damage there, gets a kill, and almost gets a second with just a Spectre. And he's still got the patient Jogamo waiting with that showstopper to end the round. It's a great kill there with the Guardian. Uses the boombot to set himself up.
One enemy.
Does so beautifully. Trent with the follow through. So yeah, after that timeout, G2 has looked better. They're starting to play more fundamental. They're starting to kind of anticipate BLG.
He's doing it again. Let's see if they have a read on this one. Will have studied the match from yesterday. Is that attack off now in play? He was able to find value, got that early shutdown on something outside of A on Lotus. This time just staring at mid, but no one there from G2.
I would think that BLG is going to take a big pause right now. You want to get that surprise to be enabled with that operator like you're talking about, Achilleos. You can just take your time, hold some angles. Prowler there does get the confirmation, but G2 not even remotely considering trying to push for that. They're just going to give up this space, kind of play back to what we've been seeing in these last couple rounds.
They know that the Hunter's Fury is available.
Mm.
And that could certainly come through on the entry. See if that ends up being the call. Push up 3 players in towards tiles. Shaq about to go on a peek into market perhaps, but they're able to slide past that themselves here to top mid. Trent in position, reading this relatively well as the drone tries to sell a little bit more towards that A side. Paranoia going across, but not connecting, but Neff's headshots certainly do. 0 point is going to be shallow, confirms that there's no one super forward on this side, but Dogamo now looks to fill that space. Pushes up, finds one, but the Hunter's Fury then comes in. K9 able to take him down. That is just Shaq now. The coach, the call up. Unable to find more than just the 1 kill, so it's going to be dominance at the half. 10-2 here for BLG.
Just brilliant stuff. Neff having an absolute heater on KO.
G2 needing to rally back. This is BLG's map pick, but you don't want to go out like this. We'll see if they can get it started in the pistol round when we come back after halftime. We are back as BLG looking to take that first step towards eliminating G2 here from the Esports World Cup. As it's not been looking great.
No.
So far. I mean, you know, and again, they're playing with a sub. Their coach is in Shaq in his own right, a strong player,
absolutely,
a radiant player.
Yes.
But clearly things are still very much out of sorts. They are able to pick up the bonus, able to pick up round 11, but those are the only 2 round wins that they've been able to find so far.
Well, and you know, it's tough when you have one of the most reliable players on the planet in Leaf that you have to replace. I mean, just absolutely stellar. You know, just heartbreaking he can't be here. But let's see what G2 can do on their attacker side. Let's see if they can start running it back. A must-win pistol round with the 10-2 score line facing them. And YZ tucked in, K-Knight around the corner, trying to set up a bit of a trap.
Little bit of damage coming through. YZ really trying to sell this for the corner, and K-Knight is able to strike.
Spike down.
Can get out safely. Might not need to. Runs out of bullets, so Valen is able to collect 2 kills. Ghost going to be scooped up. Neff reading this pinch coming in from Market quite well. Can do nothing about it. Fallon strikes out from B main. Brings it into the 2v2. Levius and Russia just classics in hand. Still working their way around. Be able to try to get this retake going. Looks like they will join up in Market.
Yeah, that looked like it might be favorable there for BLG, but G2 gets the trades they need. Good timing from Shaq to snuff Neff out. See what they can do.
Paranoia sent. Right clicks flying. Shaq rotating around the back to jump out of the smoke. Headshot gonna be found. Levius just jumping right clicks. Finds it and gives them no reprieve, no recourse. It's another pistol here to BLG as they now move up 11-2.
Man, oh man. Both players in the smoke, and G2 knows it. They've got the angles there. The Haunt opening things up for Valen. Get the first, finds the second.
Player standing. One enemy remaining.
Neff on the third with the swing. And Levius looking really good. And G2 now, I would expect the Stingers to be coming out. Absolutely.
Need to work their magic. But they're still going to be playing up against quite a bit of devastating weaponry on the opposite side.
Go for grass flip, boys.
One suppressed.
He saw me cross top mid.
Well, let's see what they can do.
I will cage right.
Being a little bit cautious here. G2 pushing up through mid.
Camera taken out.
There is tripwire. Trent runs right into it. Cleared though. But B main control held here by BLG. This is going to be tough for G2.
Oh, slide in the corner, and YZ is actually ahead of his own relay roll. He does get stunned. Ends up causing his life as Levius tries to hold down this side. Pops the cage. It's already been spotted. Trent able to clean it up. Just damage in. 3 players, however, remaining. With a judge, we'll see what kind of value he's going to be able to find from that. Swaps it over to the Spectre. Knows that he's not going to be favored, but it's going to be a full reposition here as Trent and Shaq play together. But back across in towards Market. Swing on the corner. Headshot found. Trent the first. Another headshot connecting. K-Knight down so low. But Neff will be able to join in there. The last little moments, right when it looks like G2 have the opportunity. It just gets taken right away from them, swept under the rug. Map point now here for BLG. G2, their economy going to be in the dumps.
Yeah, this is tough. I mean, those Stingers, like they might work some magic, but that B main control, just too much for G2 to deal with. You know, both teams just kind of ceding power points on the map.
One enemy.
BLG gives up top mid.
One enemy remaining.
G2 happy to take it, but with that B main control, they're able to lock things down. Little fist bump there from the coaching staff of BLG. And you're going to have a decent buy coming through still, though. So you're going to invest all your economy that you can here as G2.
Naturally have to. For every player that you lose, even if you win this round, just slows down that potential build-up. Consistently keeps you on the back foot. Judge in position. Dogamo cut in half. Why is he going to be taken down by Jonah P at the same time off screen? Brings it back to parity. Duelist's going to be dead on both sides.
Oh, look at this quick lurk from K-Knight.
Swinging around the back. Might be able to find a timing here. The tripwire set up. Can he slide across fast enough? No. Has been spotted. Challenges in for the fight, but bites off a bit more than he can chew. That's going to force a reposition from Levius. Staring over towards mid. Does have that Guardian in hand, so we'll be in a decent position in a ranged battle. That being said, Jonah P finding another. So Neff falls to the wayside, so in with a decent opportunity here, RG2 now.
Well, they've got complete control of the site. Jonah P finds his third.
The lurks here, looking fantastic for him. Russia holding him at bay here for the moment. With 30 seconds, they can just go ahead and fully swing this spike across to the B site, which is exactly the call. Barring a miraculous clutch, G2 still should be holding on by a thread. There you go. Shaq will be the one to go ahead and put Russia down. So not done quite just yet. G2 find a third.
Yeah, this round looked really nice. Even though you lose one to the judge, you're able to stabilize really quickly, win some big battles throughout mid. Jonah P doing a great job with that Bulldog. BLG was the one who got the lurking K-Knight as well. Really clean stuff.
One enemy remaining.
He's just dialed in, and no problem at all there for Shaq. And Neff a little bit frustrated, but they're going to be on a mostly full buy. There is a Bucky there for Rusia. So that's going to be interesting to see. He's tucked in over at A. There's a trip right here at top mid. You can see that BLG recognizing that this is a part of the map that G2 wants to exploit. Saw it on their second round of this half and immediately just cleared in a pullback. G2 just going to be taking their time, looking for whatever advantages they can find. Door opened as well in mid, so giving themselves options here as the round goes on.
Russia's position widely just to try to play in Levius. Play off the contact here of the camera. Paranoia at the ready to try to really slow this up. Sends it, but just gets overwhelmed. Vulnerability jumped in with a shot to the chest from the Guardian. The trap has been dismantled.
Well, this is looking good for G2. They've got themselves quite a bit of map control. Probably going to get the plant down here shortly. Nobody
doesn't spot him.
Exactly. Nobody got tagged by a 0 point. Oh, no.
That's going to be catastrophic. Russia
30 seconds left.
going to be scratching his head and wondering how the hell he's come away with that kill. G2, though, looking to try to break their way forward onto the side. K-Knight makes his presence known. Scale forward now in towards Boba. Neff looking to hold the line. Cannot take down Trent. Now it's going to be the pivot call. Russia hearing these footsteps, tries to strike, gets a tiny bit of damage across, but cannot find the kill. Now the Hunter's Fury is going to be opened up, looking to intercept them, try to take them down here on the entry to the site, but are they able to arrive in time? This spike plant just there for Trent, is able to get it, but now finds himself alone. The Nightfall invested versus 2. They backpedal away from it. That might make him think twice about the approach here. Have they swung back through the defender's spawn? Eyes on it here for the moment.
So much time for BLG to work with.
Protected from the flank, but Trent completely playing with 0 information, with 33 HP. K-Knight now has spotted him out. The recon going to be sent. 3 positions, 3 swings, and cannot get it done. K-Knight will find it, and that's going to be 13-3. The most dominant showing yet here at EWC is BLG take away their map pick of Sunset.
Yeah, that was really good stuff coming out from BLG. Just in cruise control. Loved in that last round how they instantly decided to go for that Hunter's Fury. He is struggling so far in this event, but hopefully he can step up here, back onto a comfort pick. You know, Jog on that Yoru, Valen on the Astra, Jonah P going to be on Fade, and Shaq on the KJ. So for G2, you know, you're not going to have that Vice there that you normally would in this comp. That's going to be the bigger difference here for G2. You're not going to have that same amount of kind of stall and delay, especially on the B site with the wall, with the Razor Vines, to kind of keep G2 in check. They do have, you know, the Yoru of their own. They're kind of running the much more closer to standard Pearl comp that you would see. Neff going to still be on that KO as well. So kind of curious, you know, what it's going to look like for Shaq. You know, Desk was talking about it. Oop, why is he just going to TP right out? G2 just going to claim the orb. And this is all just a setup to fast track those ultimates for Jogamo. They're going right back to the other side. A turret there to set up for a lurk. It's actually pinged out. Or maybe they just suspect somebody might be there. Does K-Knight and BLG. But gonna have something on the backside. Just got to worry about this Vice util on site.
Jiggle peek there from Levius, spying out plenty. Is gonna be the salvo sent. Thorns in, Jogamo on the hunt. Swinging around the back and immediately finds the headshot. Levius gonna be taken down. It's gonna be the Vice now displaced. Quick peek in, Russia instantaneously able to find that headshot, but the quick trade is there as Jonah P gets rid of Russia as well. Quick kills here for him on the fade. K-Knight only able to find the one little parting gift. That leaves Neff now the IGL. Left to do it all. Spike not yet planted. The 1v3 gonna prove to be very, very difficult. Just the 0 point as well as a flash to try to work with. The tap to try to fade him forward. Knows now that it's not planted quite just yet, so we'll play this a little bit more patiently. Knows that they can be completely fanned out. Flash over the top. Decent connection. Now knows location of both players.
One suppressed.
the press here just onto the one. Ducks back for a moment. It's a bit of a high-low attempt here from Trent and Valen. Swing in, and Trent will be able to claim it. G2 picking up their first pistol win.
Yeah, this is just a really nice round. Using that util early to get the orb. Trying to get Jogamo fast-tracked for the dimensional drifts. And then pivot to the other side of the map. And a great execute there. Finding some great value with his own utility and able to follow up on it as Jonah P. Really like the setup with the Nova Pulse into the back alley. Force Levius back. And he's not quite ready for Jogamo's TP that gets right in there. He gets shut down initially, so that Vice handle dealt with. Only a couple sheriffs being bought here for BLG. Otherwise, you got 3 Bulldogs, a Spectre, and a Stinger. And oh my goodness.
I heard the top of the orb just goes into the peak, and Trent ends up paying the iron price here instead of Jaw. He's now going to go TPing forward. Stinger in hand, and we'll go ahead and make it ring out nicely. Comes away with a kill on a YZ. K-Knight going to be taken down.
Spike planted.
And that leaves just Russia with a Sheriff now approaching from the stair side, and ours is okay. Jonah P. getting a very nice one. Make it a little bit more costly. Jogamo taken down, but weapon not to be recovered. These ranges, Stinger's not going to be the most ideal weapon. Let's see if BLG can make this a little bit more costly. That's going to be Levius coming away with one more. Jonah P now on the floor. Already decent damage dealt. Russia wanting to get a little bit more done. Sees the site is cleared out. Can suspect that both players are going to be in from main. Here comes the challenge. Valorant will be left standing. So Shaq remaining as far as armor is concerned. 3 players dead. Overall, not a bad attempt here from the side of BLG. With a 2-0 for G2.
Yeah, you got to be feeling good as BLG. Finding a couple kills with those sheriffs. And getting 3 kills overall is really impactful there. Knocking a lot of the big guns out of this bonus round for G2. Valen ready to swing, was on 46 HP. Maybe if those Stinger shots had been a little bit more on point, he might have gone down as well, but not to be. As so far, BLG doing a little bit of a push out over towards A. A deep knife to check, so let's see if this is going to be a free orb here. Jog's definitely going to get this one, but on the other side, YZ. Turret's going to check him. He's not going to try to contest it.
Doesn't feel safe enough playing alone to try to go for the orb take here, so leaves it be for the moment. Drone scouting forward, gets the spot. Slowly drifts away, but the aforementioned Jogamo dimensional drift is online now. Could be very pivotal trying to get this bonus converted.
I think if you get a pick somewhere, you get a kill. That might be what opens things up for Jog to feel comfortable to go for that ult. He's just going to do it anyway.
Do it anyway. It's Jogamo we're talking about. Quick TP forward, not wasting any time. Knows that there's going to be a player at alley, sees the other one here at the connector. Flash is now going to be sent. Bounds out of this one, but Risha is able to hold his own, finds the kill there. Looks for a little bit more. Wall to intercept, but Shaq with that Sheriff will go ahead and put him down. Weapon can be recovered.
Oh, this flank.
Well, YZ, first tap not connecting, but the follow-ups are damn clean. Two quick kills there, as it's going to be just about a flawless. Russia, the only casualty here for BLG as they prevent the bonus conversion.
Yeah, nice response from Russia. Not sure how much of that flash connected with him. I thought it looked pretty good for Jogamo there. Bounced it right in front of him, but maybe not connecting as much as he would have hoped. And this is just great timing from YZ. He was all over this round from the beginning, putting pressure at A main, giving that map control over to BLG so they can make that quick lurk rotation. Russia on site, shutting things down pretty nicely initially. So Bulldog going to be bought down for Jog. Very important round here for G2. They could find this win here, keep that economy in a place where it's decent.
Gotta imagine they would love to secure this orb for Trent, or rather for Jonah P. Just saying Trent when it comes down to the fade. We'll just go ahead. Be one charge away now from having the Nightfall online.
Portal closed.
They're just really trying to feel each other out. Both teams disciplined. Valen!
And they stack up. Valen collecting the collat. And that is a monstrous advantage now to be had. K-Knight gonna look to try to fill in this space. The Nanoswarm here at his feet, and G2 read it like a book. He's manipulating him around like he's a puppet.
My goodness, this is such a tremendous round for G2.
Huge bounce back as well. Dogamo considering that reface back in. Looks like Risha just gonna drift away, join in with Levius on this A site and look to hold on to the weapons. G2 gonna be allowed to go ahead and stretch this lead up 3-1.
Spike play.
I mean, that's got to be a bit of a tilter here for BLG. You lose 2 players so quickly there, and that just gives G2 all the confidence to start scaling forward. That anticipation onto the positioning of K-Knight ruins his round, and that is just GG. Crazy good stuff. It looked like maybe BLG wasn't anticipating that tight angle. I'm not sure, but they double-faced it, and not sure if that's just a miscommunication thing or what happened. But that is definitely concerning.
Certainly weren't ready for the pre-fire. It's fairly costly in the end. Good from G2 to not allow for BLG to start getting the gears turning. We've talked about it ad nauseum. You know, if you can slow this team down, that's when BLG starts fumbling. That's where they start scrambling for ideas. And yeah, it's basically pre-firing on the angle is one hell of a way to just continue to jumpstart your team in these rounds.
Yeah, that feels bad, man, but good news for BLG is they still had money. Get a full buy to go through mostly. 3 regen shields. And still though, the economy just a little bit off balance. Or at least, you know, Jogamo wants to make sure he has enough for the next round. So still gonna hang on to that Bulldog. Sets up a TP. Trying to make a push around this corner. Shaq right there as well. Looking for the Nano lineup.
Placing swarm grenade. I dropped the spike.
I'm gonna use that to try to clear Art.
Just hitting the clone. Looking for a little bit more. It does catch a glimpse, but Jogamo quickly trades it back and trades it up as K-Knight and Levius both end up falling. Spike's still going to be on the floor there and Art here for the moment, but G2, plenty of time and advantages to play around with this YZ. Gets caught trying to look forward into club.
Dude, Valen is on one right now. He is on a mission. That's twice he's gotten YZ's number. A little bit of quiet before the storm.
Swing on the corner and Risha needing to hit that headshot, cannot do so. Neff once again, now alone. We'll have to go and make the call to save. Looks like though Spike is going to be brought right to his doorstep, so there's no option to tuck back and play it quiet. He's going to have to fight his way back into this one. He wants to hold on to that weapon. TP Jogamo drifting across, but Valen snappy on the follow-up. Stops them from finding any more value.
Man, love to see that kill from Valen onto YZ. The double from Jog. Just incredible. It's a little bit of help from Smasher Util, and YZ's just slow creeping up. Pays the price, not anticipating these angles. Valen, that's 2 rounds in a row where he's found these tight off angles that BLG is just not ready for. And that's been his response to what we saw from that second round. You know, BLG there, or from the third round, excuse me, where YZ found that flank, and now Valen's put himself onto anti-lurk duty, and he has been masterful so far. And it's gonna be Bilibili taking a timeout. I like this early timeout. Try to figure these out a little bit more because can't let this snowball too much further. You just had to, you know, you have to feel like you had so much momentum coming out of Sunset. You have to feel like you have so much presence in this matchup. You don't want to give G2 any life, and you don't want to let that mental crumble for Bilibili.
No, certainly not. And I mean, in the, you know, some of the more recent performances from Bilibili on Pearl, defender side is where they've been able to find a good amount of their value and get early leads for themselves at the half. And most recently, you can see, I mean, they took down just the top squads in China: Trace, Shilai, Wolves, EDG. Bested them all just a couple months ago here on Pearl. So this is likely a start that's going to have them reeling a bit. Now looking for some thrifty magic.
Oh, changeup is just to play a little bit further back.
0 point is nice though. Huge confirmation, but why is he just going to be spammed out?
There.
No opportunity to drop down the TP to safety.
I can't use that.
D2 very quickly claim his life.
Like the pivot here, you didn't receive any contact. You're going to use the Cosmic Divide to try to really sell this B hit as well. This is all just a fake. You're going to leave Jogamo there to just keep him busy, keep him interested. Fantastic.
Flash through. Go right there. Johnny on the spot has that pre-set up on the TP.
Face your fear!
And G2 still not wanting to take any chances. I respect this. They send out the Nightfall, ensuring that it is clear. Pretty much confirming that it was a full 4-player stack towards that B side of the map.
Well, I like the read. Beginning of the round, let's see what they can do to close this out. The Sheriffs look good at times for BLG.
It's the double stack setup, but they do pull off the angle, just leaving Trent to his own devices here. What is the call? Do you actually try to make a go of this, or just try to get in a position to die to the spike? K-Knight not going to be ready for this. Jogamo claims 1. 3 more to deal with as Haunt gets cleared. Swing in. It's a nice shot. Belter there from Russia. The time certainly is dwindling. A little bit more damage going to be found. But in the end, 2 players left standing. Plenty of cash behind. G2 continue forward now 5-1.
Yeah, but this is just kind of like classic Valen, classic G2, where you just read your opponents and throw out some bait for them and just go to the other side of the map. Just really well read. Just understanding there was no pressure early on any of the mains this round, so G2 sensing the timeout call, the timeout change that BLG wanted to go for. They read it like a book.
Player standing.
Looking for that fast rotation. It's an eco as well. YZ's got the op now. He's going to be trying to take A main control. On here to try to set up Jogamo. K-Knight has an ult. So does Neff.
With a high-low. Salvo's going to be sent. There's the fake out. The turn back in, though. Get one apiece. Jogamo and Trent both can take it down. Shaq's position going to be noted. Quickly evacuates. Pulls back through Art. Keeps himself safe as the Haunt gets cleared.
A little bit more discipline here, but look at this lurk.
And Neff is reading it. Going to get the jump. Yes, he does. BLG, pretty firm grasp and understanding of how this one was going to play out. YC's gate crashes right in front of these 2 players at Art. K-Knight, having conceded the position, almost certainly will have told him, yeah, don't take that.
Bring them down.
The way is shut.
Could end up playing in for a bit of a fake as Valen get away with just that minor amount of damage taken. But all angles
30
being
seconds
watched here at
left.
the moment.
Obscuring
Effectively
vision.
fully surrounded are these 2 players from G2.
Let's see if Rushia gets the read. He's got a star set up there. Right at the entrance to site.
As the Nano gets ready to fly, there you go. They see that coming through. They're going to try to Caterpillar forward, but Levius just goes ahead, sprays across, finds the 2 kills, and that's going to be flawless as BLG will find their 2nd round win.
They don't even need to use an ult. They're still going to be hanging on to all 4. That's really clean from BLG. Nice little tuck away there by K-Knight from the clone. Yeah. Trent, a little bit frustrated. Unbelievable awareness of negative space there
One enemy.
for Neff.
Flawless.
Levius walks into the smoke.
That's one step of many that needs to be taken. YZ now has an operator in hand for the first time, and oh, kind of splits the difference there. It's a bit of damage. Does manage to get away with his life intact. Certainly not the shot that he was looking for, nor the one that we expected. Typically is going to be good for those.
Yeah, just kind of one of those moments where it's a target-rich environment, you're not sure what to do. F gets hit by a Nova Pulse. That's going to send G2 scaling up forward. See if they continue this march towards site.
Who's next?
See Neff and Levius trying to push forward. They're in a tough spot here. They're going to get pinched. The Dimensional Drift just gets a spot.
And Jogamo just hits Levius right through the smoke.
Oh.
Neff now being flushed forward. maybe tuck into that corner. No, not going to be enough space. Instead, it's just going to be bleeding out on the floor.
Where are you?
K-Knight and Russia now having to back away, go for the save call. And G2 securing at least 6 here on the attacker side.
I'm a little bit concerned with BLG in this round after the previous round where I thought they read the map incredibly well. This one, they just completely fumble what the information that they're seeing with the util means. You know, you get a little bit of util over at B-Link, and instead of just kind of shoring up your defenses, you go for a push out towards B main. That just plays right into G2's hands. There's no follow-up to contest that space at double doors or B-Link. And it's just wide open for G2. And they're going to greedily take it, as they should. That one, to me, leaves me scratching my head a little bit, but we'll see if they can recover. Neff did use that null command, but otherwise no other ults invested. So if you're BLG, you've got that going for you. You've got plenty of money for a buy. Oh, there is going to be the Armageddon available for Trent, so something to consider.
Here.
This is just phenomenal work here by Jog. Got the spot, smoke goes up, and he just finds his target immediately. Gets Neff as well. That's a really solid round from your duelist, from one of the best Yorus in the business. Seen what he can do on this agent on the biggest of stages.
And it's just been a massive rebound here for G2 compared to the first map. Obviously, still plenty more to get played out as K-Knight almost gets played out of the round. Does escape, though. He's trying to hold them back. This is looking a lot more like the G2 and we have come to expect on the international stage, even with a sub.
This is all just baiting for util, looking for info. Spike is still down over in the window. Not sure if Trent, no, he's not even going to pick it up yet. And they're just looking for that double stack over at Art again. Feeling out the map as best as they can. A little bit of contact there from Neff. Jonah P. Not sure if Neff took any damage, just a scrape.
Oh,
boy.
Gonna have to use the dimensional drift basically just to get out safely. Spotting here on the 2 players. Flash not really gonna be connecting there. This is behind them, they're well aware of this.
He didn't have a TP set up.
Go ahead.
Still does not. And that's gonna be K-Knight now. Flush forward, sends that Nightfall forward, catches the glimpse of Jogamo. Pushes forward, but can't get the shorty out in time. Jonah P, however, is able to do so on the opposite side. Now K-Knight gonna be dropped. Now chasing forward, but Jonah P still has the shorty. And things are starting to get far too chaotic here for BLG to deal with. Lead secured at the half. G2 are looking to run this over to Icebox.
Peaceful chatter in the cold and
These are some frankly kind of head-scratching moments here from BLG. I mean, YZ, I can understand he's under pressure and he kind of has to hit the panic button there with his dimensional drift to survive, but he saw that turret, didn't really register that it was there, and he pops out of his drift, and
remaining.
G2 doesn't care. They're like, oh, you're that far back, don't worry. We're pressing to sight. And then the shorties come out, and they're trying to press those smokes towards those shorties towards the end of the round. A little bit of a head-scratcher for me. Let's see BLG.
Decoy.
A couple more rounds to try to stabilize. But like you were saying, this is the half of the map where they usually do their damage. And they're not doing much. They are going to take a lot of main control here. But Valen, again, going to be on anti-lurk duty. This time he's got help.
Up flash at the ready here for YZ. There's the contact, there's the double phase, the spray coming across. Jonah P gets a smattering of damage, but can't confirm a kill. Puts YZ down to 36.
Cutting through.
Same time, attack on this B site, getting ready to come through. Nebula ends up getting dropped. The thorns pop. Turn to the flash. Levius skirting forward as Concuss goes out from Trent. Jogamo at the same time, however, has arrived in Halls, but Risha is able to gun him down. Site's still going to be broken open. His flash fully connects onto K-Knight. Sends out a shot, so they're aware of his position now. He got sent, free fire on the angle. Trent claiming the kills, fragment. Gonna be disrespected. Neff strafing across this one, but YZ is now dead. And Neff has suffered an immense amount of damage at his own hand. trying to see what he can get done, but Valorant is there to clean it up. 8-2. G2 looking to similarly deliver a 10-2 half.
Yeah, this is kind of one of the problems that they had on the pistol round as well for Bilibili, where they cede Hall's control over to Jogamo, and he's just going to punish them. They try to set up a crossfire on site, but Jogamo breaks that angle open, and G2 so well coordinated. They follow up instantly, even though Rushia gets the kill. And that's got the fist pumps from Josh and Anders. That was very good stuff. I mean, they are so on point right now, are G2. And they've got BLG scratching their heads, making some questionable decisions. They're on Stingers and a Judge and a, well, YZ is a Hero Phantom.
So, it's an opportunity, but one that BLG absolutely need to seize. 8-4 would be a decent recovery, but anything more than that, you're basically thinking GG go next.
Oh, for sure. Icebox could be on the horizon. Have to wait and see. Again, this turret position here, trying to play off of it this time is Shaq. A lot of time it's just been more of a kind of information gathering tool. He's trying to use it to set himself up, but BLG being a little more patient, not making any aggressive maneuvers on this side of the map. So they're basically playing with not much map control. G2's trying to figure out what are they doing? Where's their setups? So they're going to rotate back over to A and
30 seconds left.
Does have a gate crash set up. Jump onto the corner, finds one, but doesn't have the time to try to escape. The Nebula can't get into that either. Knight similarly going to be taken down as Neff wants to try to rush forward, but isn't ready in time. Allen already forward into the smoke. Now, no real way to try to dissuade, no real way to try to interrupt. It's just Levius with a stinger at dugout. G2 about to lock up 9.
And just not much he can do here. And try to find a few feels good kills. Money's going to be a little bit weak for BLG. God, YZ. If he'd just gotten the one and done, maybe it's a different round, but felt like with that Phantom in hand, he had agreed for those kills. Had the hero rifle. Ninja defuse?
Have to get on it right this second.
Move faster.
They want to drum some interest back over in this direction. Does manage to take 2 out, but they're not going to be too concerned about that given the money that they have going into the final round of the half.
Yeah, this is really well coordinated stuff. G2 is just working the map really nicely, finding their moments, finding their timings, getting the trades that they need.
And being incredibly well prepared here for Pearl.
Oh yeah.
Granted, I mean, it is their map pick, but it's one that BLG have been strong on in the past, and you know, I think just goes to show G2 with a little bit more time on the stage. They're going to start looking like themselves. They're going to find that footing. I mean, Fallon right now top fracking the lobby.
Op here for Jog. So he's just looking for that pick.
A quad phase into mid. They're going to be cleared from the one side. Spots out at least K-Knight on the opposite. Prowler will check forward. Well, they know that these players have evacuated the area. A little bit more of a fan out here from BLG, but early stack not leading to any success.
Yeah, they're just playing very passive, RBLG, these last couple rounds. Kind of trying to make G2 make their moves, but when BLG has tried to counter, they've been either a step too late or just missing some of their battles. Okay, well, you know there's at least one mid, now you know there's at least 2. G2 taking their time. Jog hasn't seen a damn thing over on B. He's been holding that angle for forever. Well, maybe he tagged Levius with the op. He's down to 5 HP.
30 seconds left.
That's going to give them the comfort they feel like they need to get through here. Shaq going to be on the lurk. That Hall's control.
Straight into the concuss. Levius though, dangerously low. Riyadh does manage to find one. Displaces the enemy Yoru. They know that Halls is going to be cleared now. Flash connecting. Levy is able to collect one. Wisey gets the other.
Spike down. B.
It seems like BLG have finally found their footing here in the last round of the half. They'll make it a flawless as they get it 9-3.
Yeah, I like that last round from them. Really good control there on the map, but in terms of being reactive instead of proactive.
Yeah, certainly some things to work on here for BLG, but G2 setting the stage to try to take us over to Icebox. We'll see if they can lock that down when we come back after halftime.
Idiots.
Spike down. B. 1A.
It's a playground. Better watch your man's getting safe out. See some play game like snakes and ladder. My ex-piss come on, new ones better. It's a playground. Better watch your man's getting safe out. See some play game like snakes and ladder. My ex-piss come on, new ones better.
Alrighty, we are back and about to go into the second half here on Pearl. Bilibili doing their damnedest to try to get just any round wins, but they've only been able to scrape up 3. G2 very much in the lead after a 9-3 half.
Yeah, and what a half for Valen. 13-4 on the Astra. Talked about Neff being the frag in IGL on Sunset. Well, this time around, it is Valen getting the job done. And they look really well coordinated right now, making great reads on the map. Meanwhile, Bilibili was struggling to figure out what the heck G2 was doing, you know, where their held angles were going to be, counter lurks. Now it's their turn on the attacker side to try to get something going, and immediately Jogamo just deals with YZ.
It's certainly not the start that you're looking for here if you're BLG to try to turn the tides. G2, they have their eyes on Icebox. They have their eyes on sticking around in this tournament in the playoffs. Jonah P able to back away. Riyadh, however, does hound him down, finds the kill. Does certainly suspect the positioning here of Shaq, but maybe not Valen. With the double face, able to trade it back and maintain a player advantage.
They're going to use that extra little bit of space to get themselves a plant here. Maybe no. The spike is going around the world. Trent's ready.
Wanting to explore forward, gain a little bit of additional control, but this does leave K-Knight on an island. And, well, Jogamo has just flooded the damn thing.
Time to jump.
Buried it under the waves. Quick little exit there, but now they are just essentially surrounded no matter which way they try to go. A site control going to be back into the hands of G2. Seems like they're going to try their luck here. Against John. They will be able to win the fight. It's a nice shot from Neff. Who's now facing back in towards A, and I actually do like this pump fake here from BLG. They're suspecting the rotations, knowing that there's 2 players on that A side. So as they swing back, they're gambling correctly.
I just left scratching my head in a couple different ways, but this is quite surprising for BLG.
10 seconds left.
Gonna have just enough time here. Get that plant through. G2 gonna have to play retake. 2v2. Shaq's got a turret, a couple stars available for Valen. Let's see what they can do here. You know, nobody really has much information. on either side. So BLG, though, going to turn their attention towards spawn, reading now that the two players were over on B.
Star set up on dugout, spot onto one.
Last player
Headshot,
standing.
connecting, Nep going for the reload.
Flashbang.
The flash forward into the smoke. Not spraying out, but Shaq from within is able to go ahead and get that shot to connect to Nep's skull. G2, they find stability here in the pistol, claiming both now on Pearl.
Yeah, this is another kind of wonky round here for BLG, trying to confuse G2 by going all the way into spawn, and it almost works. Had the opportunity to plant on A for free, but with that art control being fully in G2's favor, decided to just
One enemy
try to
remaining.
challenge some of these players, and they actually get some 1v1s that they're able to kind of win out. You know, Jog tries to help Trent there. They're not able to secure those final 2 kills, but in the end, it's going to be Valen and Shaq who get the job done.
One suppressed.
Let's see what BLG's they're going to force by. It's Stingers. Gonna try to overwhelm onto this A site.
Pulling them in.
3 players in position to try to counteract this. Smoke on A main, holding 2 at bay. Scale forward, turret's gonna get cleared out. They hear the Stingers ring out. G2 well aware of what is facing them as Valen nearly getting spammed down as he comes back through the smoke. Why is he taking point over towards Art? Ends up along the wayside, swapped to the Classic. This is just gonna be chaos breaking out across this map. Weapons scooped up the Prowler to scout. Jonah P. Darting forward over towards main, stabilizes the spray, finds one. Rusha hits the transfer. He's down so low, and Jogamo will be able to get it done with a Classic of his own. Close but no cigar. G2 barely managed to persevere.
Oh man, just so scrappy. Rushia tried to do everything he can there. On the stairs, almost comes through, but was so low. And Jog, steady hand at the end of the round, able to get it done.
Last
K-Knight there as well, backing up Rushia. My goodness, that was nasty. The coaching staff liking what they're seeing, because that was a very important round.
swarm grenade.
Both teams, smattering of guns here and there. Jonah P with a judge, still the outlaw, but most of the players on BLG actually have full armor, recognizing that Jog was going to be able to keep that gun over. Guardian, going to be the best weaponry that BLG fields. A couple Spectres. Now, another exploration towards mid. It's been a lot of art pressure. Let's see what they can do on the other side. Nano is there. Dodge some of that util. Nano doesn't get popped.
Judge around the corner. Gets Cuz to hold them back. The swing in. Jonah P able to collect one. Gets a bit of damage across on the K-Knight as well. Ultimately, it's just a 1-for-1 trade thus far. Turret setup allows for Shaq to just go ahead and backpedal. And there's Rusha trying to drum up some interest towards this B side of the map. Levius dodging the bullets here from Trent, is able to come away with that kill, but trade back is there as Jogamo gets on the line with the Outlaw in hand.
They're just going to spread the map, our BLG. Trying to figure out where these last couple players are so they can find a safe plant. Valen, wrapping all the way, recognizes that they had left this open, has to check water.
Neff tucked just around the corner here.
Vision.
See if anyone comes pushing in that direction. Valen, the one rifle in hand. Try to stop them in their tracks.
Spike down
Finds the first,
A.
cannot get the second. Neff now looking to intercept. They're still suspicious about this though. G2 with great awareness.
Last player standing.
Good damage dealt. Levius has to do it all to try to prevent this from going to the map point. Close angle,
remaining.
finds the first. Nullifies the Killjoy. Backpedals. Talking about scooping up the Spectre and getting the job done.
Big teleport.
Not enough bullets in the mag. Levius falls and G2 look to deliver a 13-3 in response to Sunset.
Back-to-back 1v wins for Jog. What a bounce back here. That's the only target that was going to get the job done with that Outlaw in one bullet.
10 seconds left.
But phenomenal awareness. I mean, never
One enemy
giving up on the fact that there could have been alert through water.
My ult's ready.
That is Such great discipline from G2, as you come to expect from this squad.
Oh.
And that's a tilter. So, I mean, you are going to get a little bit better weaponry for this round for the side of Bilibili, but mostly rifles, a Spectre for Shaq.
Now you need 9 consecutive just to try to get this into overtime. The rounds that BLG have gotten in their own right were fairly clean, but getting to those points was very much a struggle. It's a good flush out here on Jogamo, who opts to stick around. Shaq similarly, swinging forward, loses his head. Brent now try to hold the line, but Levy is continuing to deliver. Finds himself a second. It seems like BLG not going to allow for a replication of the scoreline from the opening map of this series. We'll fight back for at least one more. Jonah P comes away with a kill on Russia, stopping it from being a flawless, making it a bit more costly, because remember, BLG basically have no money.
Yeah. Well, next round for G2 is also going to be a little bit on the weaker side for the bye.
They can't afford to have K9 taken down here. He still will fall. Jonah P holding on, now 1 away from having the Nightfall. Frankly, he is going to be welcoming them to come out on the hunt. Kill or a death, he's got the money to buy. Seems like it's not going to happen.
No. That one's head scratcher for me, though. But overall, solid round for BLG. Jog tries to challenge from the back of pillar. Pays the price. I have to assume teleport was there for him. Thought maybe after the fragment came out, he would just abandon ship. Then a lot of 1v1s being won by BLG. Just kind of storm through. They're going to have a ton of ults. Everything but YZ's Dimensional Drift. Getting close to some ults for G2, like you mentioned, Jonah P. Shaq pretty close to a lockdown. Dog still has his Dimensional Drift. But not much money available for G2 here. In terms of the purchases, even only 2 classics for Trent and Valen. A couple sheriffs, Jonah P with that held rifle. And it is just going to be BLG, again, fishing for info, using that to set up the wall to get the opportunity to deal with a lurk or a flank or a push out, anything like that that's going to come out from G2. But turns out there's actually just a stack here, and all it took was one little star, one little smoke. But it seems like the plan from the get-go for BLG was to just get that vice wall in place and then go rotate to the other side of the map. But they have no idea what's going on. They have no mid information, and they're just going to try to make a go of this. This is playing right into G2's hands. See if they can convert.
Because of the positioning here, that turret not going to be able to do much of anything. Full flash on the Jogamo. YZ turns back, is able to find them both. Watches Valen out. Snap does get traded. Jonah P still here on high, coming away with kills. Sets up for Trent with the classic. Get himself another. Still an opportunity to make a go of this. Shaq now. Phantom in hand. K9 trying to span the angle, but he's decayed so very low. And that will be the closeout in thrifty fashion. Classic G2. They will take us the distance, not going down without a fight.
That's got to feel good for G2. It had been a rough tournament so far. And now they get a big win on Pearl and send us to a map 3. Icebox is on the horizon.
2-0 not to be found. G2 still with an opportunity to punch their ticket into the playoffs. Bilibili now, the ones fighting back from the back foot, up against the ropes. We'll see what happens.
Strong in the post plants, in the retakes, even in the pistol rounds.
Pistols, yeah.
Yep. Sage is really strong in pistol rounds, and that's something that, you know, is going to give Billy some fits. We'll have to see. That harbor going to be really important for Russia. Find some good value with those cascades, with those high tides. It's going to be YZ with a sheriff, some ghosts. A lot of ghosts for the side of G2. Jonah P.
I mean, F is just dead.
Okay.
F is just dead. Okay. Well, quick little peek under the tube here. And that is the Viper now dropped. YZ quickly trying to take some space here on the A site before G2 can get into position. Shots out. Shock Dart looking to try to get some
Spike
damage on the
planted.
K-Knight, but lands up over the top, and Wisey now going to be taken down. Dogamo eats some damage, but has the heal. Sheriff going to be recovered. Risha tucked in behind this harbor wall. Levy is able to find one, trading it back. Risha puts it to good use, finds a headshot onto Jogamo, but now starting to get overwhelmed and surrounded. This leaves just Levius to his own devices, the wall to fall, and so shall he. G2, 3 pistols now in a row.
This is really nice stuff for G2. The opening kill, and again, you saw there that heal for the Sage. Didn't really amount to much, but still is really annoying in these pistol rounds. And G2, they're happy to play retake. They're going to be coming through with another big pistol win. It's BLG trying to get themselves sorted. Just being really patient on these angles. You know, keeping Rushia pinned in. Shaq finds his moment to strike. Had a really nice showing stepping in for G2. And the patience paying off once again. Now they're going to have a very nice buy going forward. Wisey is going to grab an outlaw.
See if this ends up paying off. Going expiring, able to scale forward towards B. Relatively for free. Shot and going a little bit wide there. Jonah P just backpedaling, waiting out the decay.
So now Jonah P going to be one tap to the outlaw, but everybody else has full armor. So for BLG there, going to be able to get as much value initially out of that gun, maybe. Maybe can get some players weakened up with some of those pistols first, and then find some value. So YZ trailing with that sniper rifle. So now they're going to look to explore towards A, but it's identified here, at least somewhat by G2, but not enough info. Thought about going back towards B, and Valen now saying, oh, okay, we're just gonna have to play retake again, boys. Let them have it.
Have the comp for it. Plant.
30 seconds left.
Committed to here.
Spike planted.
Default. This would be a massive swing in the momentum here. BLG are going to be able to close this one out. Really fast track at attacker side. YZ value going to be found off the outlaw. Needs to go for the reload. Repositions, but G2 scaling forward very quickly. Looking to try to take them down. Jonah P up and over here, down below. No concerns as YZ had been taken down up and over the top. And in the end, it's going to be 2 casualties. And outlaw handed over. Jonah P saying thank you very much. And ultimately, G2 start things off nicely.
Yeah, it looked like for a moment there, maybe BLG was going to be able to pull away that thrifty round, but you know, the headshot comes through for YZ, but he gets down to 11 in the moment. Valen here just running and gunning with the stinger. Oh, man, wow. Got the drag down there, too. Unbelievable.
A bit of a lucky stray shot there to get YZ in the back of the head. But with Valen, how much of it's luck, how much of it's skill, it's very much hard to say. Buy now available, 2 players susceptible to that outlaw. Just the regen armors to try to work with, but Outlaw's going to be positioned over at B, where G2 are very quickly taking space, scaling forward towards the garage. Really getting a solid idea of the full picture here of BLG's game plan.
There's a turret back there for Levius. Get a read on this 3-man flank that they're attempting. So a different look on the retake.
Spike planted.
See how BLG can respond.
Step over the top here at the screens, able to get the spot out. Shaq doing his damnedest to try to jump and dodge the bullets, cannot do so at the same time though. Flank starting to be executed. Neff in position to find the initial punish, but Trent just swoops in, finds the kill. Up and over the top of the rope here is YZ, starting to get a little bit chaotic with it. It's just 4 bullets remaining here in this Phantom. Jonah P manages to outdo him. K-Knight will be there for support. They close it out, but it's 3 players lost, so still heavy damage suffered here by BLG.
Yeah. K-Knight there, getting on his feet, trying to rally the troops a little bit. Still kind of a rough round. Taking a lot of damage. RBLG, YZ, such a such a good player, but he can be a little bit wild sometimes. That rope play, Trent he is not. And this gonna be a guardian for Jonah P there. Other than that, rifles for everybody. Rushia does have the reckoning. So far we've seen G2 be pretty happy to play retake. That's going to continue to be the case, especially with the Reckoning there. It's going to have to be.
Just forces them back out of the sight. Once again, that scale forward at B coming through.
Here.
Jonah P.
Here.
Let's see if he can spot anybody outside of A main. Wisey, though, going to spam down off the top of screens, peeks through the harbor wall, eventually giving himself over on a silver platter. As Jonah P breaks open the flank. K-Knight needing to win the fight, he's able to do so now. Turn his sights back over towards this plant. He attempted to defuse. Spotting out two players. Riyadh looking for the reposition. Right clicks flying. Jogamo going to be taken down. Neff able to find Shaq at the same time. Now brings it to the 1v2. Hunter's Fury going to be used. If nothing else, a bit of a consolation prize here for G2. As the retap comes in.
Concentrate, Sova.
Looks for the kill, can't find it, but the timing just not going to be there. K-Knight with a nice headshot brings this one to its conclusion. And it's going to be BLG tying it up 2-2.
Still, though, you got two ultimates out of BLG in that round. Not too bad. Playing for retake there off the rip. The Reckoning. Up for a moment here. This might go pretty well for G2.
No more.
5v3, but quickly became 4v3. Riyadh just spamming away. Seems to always be switching to that classic in the heat of the moment, and he's so darn good with it to boot. Find some good value, so one stinger, 4 sheriffs. It's gonna be the buy into this eco for G2. Valen again, trying to create a little bit of pressure with that stinger, but doesn't feel comfortable enough.
Has to back away. It's like Jonah P, was his position red? No, I think Neff just going for some pre-fire, so Jonah does get a lot of scaling forward, relatively for free. Sheriff shots out. Connection not going to be found. Backpedals. Same time, Jogamo clears the turret here at mid. Jonah P killing it, wanted to go for it, ends up falling to the wayside. B site now broken open. The call to rotate ends up coming through. Jogamo finally kept off the angles here as Trent is able to fight back for one. This might cause some pause here for BLG. It looks like YZ maybe wanting to sell that they're pivoting back, but the drone now has spotted out Levius. Wins out the fight, Jogamo able to find one more kill to peel off, but that's going to be player advantage here for BLG with YZ now on a flank.
Yeah, I like what I'm seeing now from BLG. This is more of what we were seeing on Sunset. Working the map a little bit, just looking for their moments, finding those picks, and then making moves off the back of it, even though Neff gets caught overextending just a bit.
Valen having the call Shack back now.
Spike planted.
Shadows traveling.
One enemy remaining.
YZ.
They're trying to find that entry, but going to be outgunned. Drop down. Stuffs him with the stinger, able to find it, but can't draw the Phantom out fast enough. And it's going to be BLG now gaining the lead for themselves. Shrugging off the stinger attempt here from G2.
Nice damage done. Couldn't convert the eco. There's Trent. Right as Neff's wall comes up, he takes him down. Had the angle, had the lineup. Valen's so good with that stinger. At least going to be good for one. But I think the more important thing for me here is now we're seeing BLG starting to lean more into that good macro game that they just, I mean, they barely played an attacker side in Pearl, so weren't really able to work it as much. YZ there pinged out. Gonna have to back off momentarily. K-Knight gonna retake that position himself.
Yeah. Turret playing him in. He's shutting it down. Tries to push forward. Looks like he was going to be sending it there on the pit. Does end up falling before he can try to get that one triggered, so decent little trade kill available there for Shaq, but still an immense amount of damage, as well as control of the map here for BLG. Well, Shaq now needing to hold the line.
Hey, you get those 2 kills out of tube, you got to assume B's the weak side. You saw the Sova utility. Trent's been locking down A, so this is a good read for BLG.
Jack looking to be the hero. Finds the timing onto one. Levius falling. Recon pings him out though, and YZ a little bit faster to get around the corner. He'd be back over towards Snowman here for Valen, looking to try to arrive as fast as he can as Hunter's Fury does get a connection as well as a kill. Riyadh dead. Trent looking for a little bit more. Checks in towards kitchen, but nothing going to be noted there. Why is he trying to go on this push, but it's still being watched for? The timing, however, right as Trent turns away, ends up getting picked apart. All to do here for Val and Shock Dart. Ends up getting botched a little bit. Paranoia connecting. K9, no clue where he's at. Valen strikes, looking for the clutch. YZ, just the classic. It's going to be good enough. It strikes him down, and BLG maintain the lead.
I do have to applaud G2 in their understanding of the tendencies of YZ. I mean, even though the timing is unfortunate for Trent, he's still, you could see it on the map and you could see it that he was cognizant that could happen. But those 2 kills out of tube early.
Enemy remaining.
Difference maker in this one. Valen doing his damnedest. Kind of a bit of a whoopsies from K-Knight with the shock dart, but all's well as that ends well for the side of Bilibili. And they have strung 4 rounds together here on this attacker side. Do have another Reckoning. Do have the Viper's Pit. Gonna use this Cascade to force Jonah P back. They're on the hunt.
Oh, one for a reload. Bit of an awkward timing there as spot out through the wall. We'll have to just go ahead and leave Jonah P to his own devices for the moment as the spike is now planted. The pit is in play. Question is, G2, what do you try to do? You don't have a counter pit of your own. You don't have that lockdown to try to flush players out of it. As Levy is now confirming presence of multiple players, has to backpedal. Heal flies, and kills are found. K9 going to be taken down at the same time. Scale forward, BLG needing to fight up into the pit. Widely do find themselves stacked up, but time is ticking, working against G2. The spray from Trent, Widely is going right around them. BLG will be able to clinch it out.
Yeah, love the change of pace here from BLG. Just rushing forward onto B. Again, just maybe looking to try to punish Shaq a little bit. He's going to be tasked to lock down that B side on the Killjoy. But also knowing that if you can get that Viper's Pit down early, you're giving yourself a really good chance. With G2 finding the kills on the outer edges of the pit itself. Then once they have to get inside, it is locked down by Rushi and company. And back onto an eco. Go G2.
Standing ahead.
Couple ults available. Rez is there. Clear the turret. YZ he's just pushing. I like that Cascade setup to set him up to cover that angle. Good kill.
Not ready for the timing. Good kills in response. Those K9 and Levius both get taken out.
Your duty is not over.
It's going to be the Rez as well to try to give him a numbers advantage, and Neff now going to be caught off guard. Swing out, and Chocobo wins out of range with the Stinger. The wheels are starting to come off.
Yeah, this is going to be a eco win. I mean, you had the Rez in there too for Jog. This is just incredible. I was not expecting this at all. I thought this looked pretty good.
That's one more player to potentially pick up one of these upgraded weapons. Because now they know Russia's position. Just have that spike in hand, sets up the wall. And looks like he's just going to try to stay tucked back in the spawn for 44 seconds.
Well, we wait.
Yeah. No, we do. Chill out, hang back.
Yeah.
Watch and wait for the timer to go down.
30 seconds
nice.
left.
Yeah, the little relaxation moments that can sometimes just arbitrarily be built into Valorant.
Catch our breath a little bit.
Yeah.
Gonna have
Players
some.
can take the time.
Yeah.
You know, there is a massage room.
Yeah, there you go.
Get a quick 30-second
Yeah.
massage.
Some good coffee upstairs.
10
you know?
seconds left.
They've got a barista up there for the players.
Yeah.
That's very nice.
Just do whatever. Chill out. Make sure that you're the vibes are good. And then you're ready to go. Looks like Jonah P going to go on the hunt. Can't see, but Russia can. So we'll be able to find it, but cannot prevent the Thrifty. So that's G2. Closing the gap ever so slightly. The more rounds that they're able to find on the defending side, the better they're going to be feeling given the composition that they have, and also just the propensity for Icebox to be an attacker-sided map.
Yeah, both teams just kind of going for some util combos. You can see the recon dart there to set up Valen, get his kill, the Cascade to set up YZ to get up on that tube. Like that play with the Harbor to cover. You know, a lot of teams don't seem to get fooled too much by those jumps up on the top of the tubes. It's going to be a timeout from BLG. I think just stressing here to maybe keep playing as a team, keep going with what was working. You know, when they were just kind of deathballing around the map, going for those fast executes, those were going pretty darn well. This round, Neff wanted to show a different look, and that's fair. It's respectable. You got it. You know, a team like G2 is eventually going to find the counter to you. But maybe talking about trying to wait out some of that util as well, especially against an eco there. You know, you kind of anticipate that a team might get aggressive, and BLG just not quite ready for it. Valen just speeding his way towards the belt, using that util from Trent to accelerate. Do have a lockdown for both squads. Viper's Pit for Jonah P. Is he just going to want to lock down this B side initially? You bet. You bet.
He's going to send it, but it seems like it's not really dissuading BLG. Why is he getting up ahead of this one? Just tucks into that smoke. You would be able to find him and have Jonah P dead to right. There you go. Finds it eventually. Hill coming through. Wall's now going to be raised. There's a check. Trying to set the nano for the delay. Close coming through. YZ continuing to scale forward, pushes forward, and that gives Trent line of sight, but K-Knight will have the reply. Lockdown now going to be set up, but the Hunter's Fury is there. K-Knight clearing this out as Shaq actually strafes forward into it.
Oh no.
Ends up offering up just a big chunk of his HP bar.
Oh my. Pause though. They want to go to the other side of the map. Just, they know basically everybody's here for G2. They don't want to try to force 4v3.
Creeping forward. Does he read this? Yes, he does. Can't get flush enough against the wall to have the jump. Talking about the slow creep. Does manage to keep this now. The parity, 3v3. The spike gets ready to be planted. Already 2 players from G2 in position to try to reply. And Valen almost finds himself a second elim.
Should run.
Do they expect Shaq here? No, they do not. Falls down to 5. Heal available as well. That means that Risha has his work cut out for him. Full time aplenty.
Got the wall for Jog too. This is a very unorthodox position here for Russia.
On pipes in front of 410. Hearing the double drop. Knows they're both going to be backside. Doesn't want to make any noise himself. The wall now going to be raised. Knows that he has to ride up over the top. Tries to fake that one out. Gets a spot onto 1. But even if he had gotten the kill on the Shaq, the time of the defuse just wouldn't really be there for him to play against. And G2 continuing to persevere.
Yeah, I don't mind at all what BLG's doing in this round. I think these are good ideas, but that position from Neff,
Should run.
not a great one, because you can see the gun barrel way ahead of time. And then that wall, again, that stage, so valuable on this map. Like you said, the heal there actually came through and mattered because he got wall banged, did Shaq, and then the wall as well to force that angle. Make it an easier fight for G2. Now you got the Blade Storm here. YZ gonna pop it off the rip. Slow there. Try to keep him from going right up onto that belt position. Just storming forward. Neff is gonna be on his own on the other side of the map.
Drifts into nest. Jogamo top of screens. Drone to try to clear this out. We'll see if it has enough power to clear the angle, but it'll be a quick little peek in, and then there you go. No spot on the Sage. YZ falls into the trap.
This is awkward. This is very awkward.
Yeah, it's just getting expounded upon now. G2 looking to tie things up 5-5. They have themselves a 5v3 advantage, and I think the call to save is pretty much going to be made. Neff, a real contact over here. Now gets the spot out on the Jonah P, who will just take him down through the smoke. And that seals the deal. Nothing more to be done. Weapons have to be saved.
This is a brutal round.
Yep.
Because BLG put quite a bit of money into this.
Weapons have to be saved?
Well...
Okay, I think they're going to make their stand here.
Well...
30 seconds left.
What I'm learning from this, though,
yeah,
this whole situation, is that I think that in elimination games, at least the first one that you have to play, we should make teams play with their coach.
Oh, I
Spice it up.
Yeah.
We gotta get Termy in there.
That could be a fun tournament.
Glow.
Can you imagine though? Yeah, you get to see like Solo come in for Gen G. Yeah.
Sorry, Foxy9, you're on the bench. I need to play Killjoy. Some shots distracting Jogamo back the opposite way, and that's going to be a timing found. Trisha cannot hold on to his weapon. Dancing around will be able to retain the Phantom, so it's going to be the Guardian lost in the end. The better of the two to save, but there's not too many silver linings that BLG are going to be able to find here.
Yeah, love this positioning from Jog.
Reloading.
Shutting that Blade Storm right down. And then doubling down there, clearing nest. Or clearing pipes, excuse me. And then finds a third. But again, this is a brutal round for BLG. They have a Bulldog. They got some Phantoms and a Guardian, but...
Jogamo forward in two. Waiting for the peak. There's the drop down. Can't quite reset the spray.
Here.
It's decent damage across onto YZ. Regen shield is there, but so is Trent. Just make that a 1-for-1.
Valen just tucked into the corner. BLG just scaling forward.
For the corner clear. Valen able to find it. Quickly does get overwhelmed and trade it out. Not going to be spotting Trent in this position. Slides in the back sight. Ready to go on the prowl. Sees the gun barrel. Spike now. Down on the floor. Trade not possible. Levius wanting to clear the angle, but as he does, there's far too many players. Trent comes away with 3. G2 securing themselves 6.
That is frickin' brilliant. Shaq intentionally made noise there. You see Knight's gun look up right before Trent is about to swing that corner. Shaq did that intentionally to bait. And Trent, just a smooth criminal here. Bang, you can hear those footsteps right behind him. Shaq plays that so well, and Trent with a 3K. That is so well done. That teamwork there with the stand-in coach and the player. So good. Another scuffed by here for BLG.
Oh, Shona P. In all likelihood, should have been able to have that or at least get some damage in, but considering going for the snake bite, so it does get a little bit off timing. This Valen going to be taken down here, scaling forward at A. Finally suspecting that this has been left open, given the turret placement in mid, but YZ is there for the jump, so captainless for now.
Still have the res. Don't think you're going to get there. Don't think you're going to get there.
I know, and Jogamo is not even letting any credence to the idea of it. He is wanting to fight, and he is profiting from that idea. Nearly getting timing, challenges right back in, and Jogamo. If there was any doubts after sunset, I think those have been quelled.
Absolutely. Again, a great push and pull for 2 members of G2. This time it's Jog and Jonah P. Maybe just ended the round. We'll have to see. And YZ does gain the space, does gain the sight. Trent, Shaq not too far away.
And 30 seconds left. 2v4 though necessary for BLG. Shaq, oh, elbow spotted. I think YZ had been noted, but now Trent
Player standing.
doesn't have him dead to rights because Shaq does, and there you go. The 1-2 punch. Refused to come through. 7-5 at the half. G2 out in front from the defending side.
Yeah, this is a really stellar half for G2.
What? Just they want to have some fun with it before defusing. So yeah, we got these ults, so might as well use them. Valen could TP if he really wants, but I think he's probably being the more sane of the remainers there. But there you go. BLG needing to dig deep, find this pistol as they themselves get ready to move over to the defending side of the map. G2 going to be on the attack when we come back after halftime.
Flush. Under. Liquid. Yeah. Jen. Under. On Peter.
Find help, boys.
Jen. Maze, right side.
Hold on, fight left.
Yep.
Nice! Sheriff Hill.
We are back. Some moments of celebration there on display from BLG, but not as many as they would have liked. 7-5, the scoreline as BLG now shifts to the defense, having to contend with G2's duelistless comp on the attack.
Yeah, this ought to be really interesting. I mean, we saw the other day, duelistless comps can sometimes struggle on the attacker side, but this is G2. And the way they've been playing, the coordination now really starting to come through, the comms being good. You know, I heard them quickly behind stage during the break between maps just saying, hey, keep the vibes good, keep the comms good. And good things are going to happen. And so far, not too bad at all. Trent just going to let loose with the dart. Cleared. YZ inside of G2's smoke.
Guys in this. Here's that orb being taken. Would love to try to strike, but G2 are playing this very patiently, very slowly. Actually trying to pre-fire him a little bit. Tailwind going to expire. Why is he sticking around?
Here.
He's going to end up being
Poison's
greedy.
gone.
Oh, finds one. Does get taken down, but some damage found that'll force the heal. Gets a CD out. Ultimately doesn't make his exit, meets his demise. Already rotations have come through from BLG. Just looking to set up a wall here, at least is Russia. Now starts rotating back across towards A, but Spike continues to inch forward here in the hands of Jogamo.
And Nep's going to be falling quite far back.
Toxin screen down.
Big attempt. Might just be getting them to bite here. Nep has not seen him miss them on the cross because he was backpedaling.
Poison orb emitted.
Now the scale forward. Tries to get the jump there onto Valen. Cannot get the punish on the Jogamo either.
30
Jack will be taken down. Levius finding one, finding two. Goes for the reload. Now it's all on Jaw. Heal back available. Timing there for him, but the weaponry certainly is not. Spike planted, looking for the first, finds one, but cannot get any more. BLG taking the first step. We're just trying to regain some control. They get the pistol.
Yeah, fantastic timing from Levius. He struggled in that first half. 2 and 12. Now going to find 4 for himself. That's really nicely done there on the Killjoy. This is just classic YZ. Just so aggressive with his positioning, and man, oh man, that is such a tight angle. Catches Jonah B.
30 seconds left.
There you go, Levius.
Planted.
2 big kills. That opens things up.
When they needed him the most. After the first map, the pistols were a bit of a struggle, to say the least.
It's a buy up here, though, for G2. Got those stingers again.
I think this is a really good time to gamble it. Given that the score is so close. I mean, G2 do go for this more often than many other teams. So far, no confirmation on the force.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things, even if you know it's coming, sometimes you just can't stop it. It's just so good. Jonah P even has the Bulldog. So this is a scary buy to go up against for BLG.
Drone sees nothing, but BLG are keeping the lion's share of their players towards this A side of the map. Reading it still correctly. It's a heavy stack. 2 in the elbow, 1 at the top of screens. This could end up being a bit of a meat grinder here that G2 are lunging headfirst into. Shaq tries to open up mid a bit, but can't get the damage through. Now storming their way in, and K-Knight has them lined up. Trent able to collect 1, but more to be found there. There's quickly dispatched are these players from G2. This time the force not on their side. 7-7 the score. BLG tie it up.
Has a nice smoke there from YZ to keep that position obscured, to get that big double kill once the smoke drops. Oh, through the legs of the turret there for Levius. There you go. There's K-Knight out of the smoke and instantly finding value. Then the follow-up is good. That's a big win there for BLG. This should be a pretty weak buy, I would suspect. Yeah, Sheriff's in 1 stinger for Valen. Trying to deal with Levius, or at least going to clear that position. They take a little bit of damage. The heal does come through onto Jonah P. So he's going to be back up to full. YZ. Backed off by the drone. He's just going to wait this out. He's the only one, though. Levy is sliding through this mid push by Neff. Shaq on the jump peak. Gets the identification. G2 continues to scale their way forward. Smoke goes up behind him from Rusia. They're ahead of the curve. Wall should make this a pretty safe plant.
Get this through. YZ though, just that blind spray. Trent ends up swinging into it. Loses his head, and obviously,
Cover going out.
you know, that res could still come through, but Rusia, this guy with a classic, it's just a deadly combination. Ping now gets a reveal. Shaq forward here, outside of the harbor wall, falls as Rusia once again strikes. The BLG are well on their way to trying to close out this map, hitting the bonus conversion.
Rusia just so willing to go to the classic. Pops out of that smoke.
Rusia to the classic is like something to a shorty.
Exactly. I was thinking the same thing.
Just bounding forward, praying that he gets a kill, but yet reads it incredibly well. Just says, okay, I know where you're at. I know you're going to be stuck in there.
Oh.
One enemy remaining.
BLG handle this retake incredibly well, and that's going to be the timeout call now here for G2. The pressure certainly mounting.
Yep, should be their first opportunity to get a buy-in, and they want to make the most of it. So talk about exactly how they want to work the map. Thought that round looked like it might be kind of okay, but just kind of started crumbling. Tried to play up close and personal, and Rusia very happy to let you do that. So far, yeah, a few of those positions that have been kind of dealt with by YZ, taking some off angles of his own, taking a page from Valen's book from what we saw in Pearl. Some of those tight corners being held and finding value out of it. So far, Shaq has had a tough time on some of these lurks as well, so need to find ways to get value out of that KJ. Rez is going to be available, Reckoning for Rusia. It's just a Guardian, a couple Bulldogs though.
Placing
For BLG.
Keep
Still
it cool.
decent amount of firepower. Going up against the full buy. G2 is going to bring to bear. They're just going to get Valen up on top of Tube. Looking for, trying to get that counterplay against Levius if he had been at the boiler again.
Shaq.
Oh, Shaq.
Rough spot, approaching on his position. Some peel there, though, as YZ does get taken out. Does he know he's gotten tucked into this corner is the question. Russia just playing this quietly. Shaq widely, holding his own. Jill Peak not going to be spotting K-Knight, but he's very suspicious about it. Now starting to get surrounded. Flanks back for a little bit more damage on the net at the same time, though. B-site being taken. G2 get the push forward.
Placing swarm grenade. Swarm grenade out.
Now going to be popped, wall raised. Valen needing to try to hold the line. Headshot does connect, but kill cannot come through. Valen stays alive. Heal available for Jogamo as the plant goes down.
Poison orb emitting.
Now it's just the two Bulldogs
Poison's off.
for BLG. Not much util, just the snake bite for Neff. Playing it quietly. This time a little bit further back in the positioning is G2. Learning their lessons from the previous round.
Getting over the top. Neff pushing the Viper wall.
Poison's off.
Okay, expiring. Two players here, back yellow. Needs to try to break this open. Snakebite gonna be thrown down, but Jogamo, he will just strafe over the top of that any day of the week. Loses his life, but they get the round win, and they get us tied up.
We'll see if they can continue to find some momentum. A rough start to the half, but with it being tied, anybody's game now. I like the way Shaq is playing this. Buying a ton of time there.
Ton of attention.
Yeah, exactly. A ton of attention.
Remaining.
And kind of
Let's go.
anticipating that maybe somebody had gotten on top of that box in the corner. It feels like he was reading it pretty well. Now you've got some ults.
Placing swarm
So
grenade.
that Reckoning, Hunter's Fury as well for K-Knight. Just a nano, just in case anybody's up there to back him off a bit. A lot of damage done to Valen.
Gonna be at the same time, though. Pushing forward, gets himself into kitchen. Turrets around the corner. Levius to try to play off of this one. Actually drops down out of window. Way back up, and K-9 crucially does win this fight. Levius' participation not required.
Right here.
Spike's still going to be dropped outside of A. They try to drop some attention here towards this B site, but Jogamo damn near dies. Down to 1 HP, I believe, then pops the heal. Grab the orb for Trent. 2 charges from the Hunter's Fury. G2 certainly on the back foot here. What does the play call end up being? Seems like Valen knows that he has to be the one to try to break this open.
Oh, it's just crazy.
Just strafing forward. Had he gone around the back over towards Raptors,
30 seconds.
he would have been able to get the jump, but instead,
Got him.
just walked right in front of YZ sights. Hill found the wall to be set up. The res can come through.
Kill my ally.
Pulls him right back into this one, but now the Hunter's Fury is perfectly timed. Valen wrecked as far as the HP bar is concerned.
Spike planted.
Somehow, Jogamo surviving for a brief little moment longer. Gets the spike planted right of the rope. YZ has to hop down. Damage not going to be suffered. K-9 going to be taken down at the same time as Trent finds that kill. Players riding the rope. The drop down, Valen on the crossfire. Able to find one more before being traded out. Bilibili
Shock dart.
just looking to overwhelm. Shock dart lobbed in. Neff dead. Position known. Rides the rope up the top, but Arisha is right there waiting for him. Kicks him back down to the ground floor. And Bilibili narrowly regained the lead by 1.
This is one of those sort of fork in the road rounds where maybe if Valen goes left instead of right, this is a completely different round. And you have to invest so much, you know, the wall and the res. Yeah, you get the Hunter's Fury out, but doesn't really end up gaining too much for G2 in the long run. It's dealt with pretty quickly by YZ. And I love the patience on the early part of the round for YZ. He's just, you know, he went for some early moves and now he's...
Great shock dart.
Yeah.
Well, gets the armor out, forces the heal. He's understanding Trent's typical setups. Meanwhile, back over in mid, He's getting run down. So he might just be able to escape. Now, Levius there, out of tube, able to find the kill. Spike plant now. Coming through here for G2, Valen up over the top. Paranoia at the ready, sending towards screens. Doesn't, however, connect on Arusha, has out wide. I think maybe he thought that wall segment was still intact, but it was not. Joggerman now, up and over the top, looking for that second kill, but cannot hit the transfer. And BLG close it out and get to double digits.
Lockdown came through there. Didn't even really need it. There you go. Just a couple wild moments. Trying to get some pressure into tube. Trying to open up that extra angle, but it's handled nicely by Neff.
One enemy remaining.
K-Knight gets up on the rafters. You had Rushia tucked in behind the sage wall, able to use that piece of utility against his opponents. Things not looking great for G2. After it was tied, it's been 2 in a row. Maybe the most important round of the map here. Try to get themselves back into it. A buy round, a Hunter's Fury, 1 away from a lockdown, 1 away from a Viper's Pit. Alt cycles coming into G2's hands. It's BLG. This is a trap and a half.
3 players set up. YZ
Enemy mark.
being baited for. This drone eventually does get cleared out. G2. Multiple weapons fire off. It will re-explore a bit of the area here, though.
You know there's at least 2. The cascade there. Jog.
YZ considering going on this push here.
Jog's got the spike.
Just around the corner. Gunbrel gonna be spotted. Did he note him? I don't think he did. So he's gonna get caught off guard. Just didn't see those pixels out of place. So Jogamo able to go ahead and collect the kill. Now orb taken. Res also available.
They've gained some space, but the KJ util is over here on A. Alarm bot and a couple nanos at the plant spots.
30 seconds left.
So, gonna be some decent info. Valen going on a check. Is he gonna stick that? No. I was gonna say that would be wild if he did.
Certainly end up being bold, but now the attack is ready to come through. The ambiguity gone. Jogamo loses his life. That res no longer a concern. The time dwindling here. Levius playing down underneath.
Leave us.
Paranoia not connecting. The swing out, the spike now on the floor. The round is over. Neff has done it all. Nothing more for Trent to do other than potentially die, and he shall. 11-8. Bilibili very much in control.
It's absolutely brutal. But this early aggression towards B main in terms of just positioning, even though they lose YZ to it, it's enough to scare G2 off and force them to the other side of the map where they've got that Sentinel util.
Sit down!
Oh. I think they certainly have been. BLG have just been flattening the attack attempts here from G2 Esports. So final timeout call to be made.
Yeah, a passionate speech being given here by Josh to try to rally the troops. See if they can dial in. Just a few missteps here and there have cost them some of these rounds. Maybe a little bit of a misread on some of the macro at times as well. Some nice change-ups from BLG, shifting, some of their Sentinel and Viper setups over to the other side of the map. Neff quickly went over to A after he had felt comfortable enough that he had kept G2 away from the other side of the map. Leave YZ to his own devices. And yes.
Saw the look from Trent there at the end of the round. Seemed like something wasn't quite right, so we do have a tech pause. Things widely have been quite smooth here on the A stream, so hopefully nothing too severe. So this has been going smoothly up until this point.
Fingers crossed. Hopefully it's just a quick one. Maybe a little device issue or something. Can get resolved pretty quickly. See the ref standing back. As things have been pretty wild here in this match. I mean, 2 absolute blowouts to start. And then a pretty close icebox. But
yeah.
These last couple of rounds have just been so smartly held by the side of Bilibili. Just doing a great job of working that backside on A in particular. Keeping B under control and forcing them to the other side of the map. And then making good reads. Something that was so impressive with BLG on Sunset, seemingly starting to come through here again, is it's only been 1 round in this half for G2. Countdown's going.
Yeah, and it took until effectively their first buy round, given the force in the thrifty attempt.
Right.
You can see the rally back. Shock Dart this time. Not going to be finding too much of anything there.
God, they have so many ults. Love to find opportunities to use them.
You should run.
Sneak this weaker buy away. Used to lock down early.
And K9 only halfway to that Hunter's Fury, so no real way to try to turn the tides of this one. Push out. They're going to get cleared. Neff wanting to try to keep that attention over towards him on this flank instead of forward onto the site. Pit now going to be invested. Some spam though, and Levius is able to find one. Shaq going to be taken down. Going to be answering back. Rusha on the floor. The pit still intact. Jogamo has a res, but knows that it's going to be far too risky.
You will not kill my...
Sends it, but there's a pixel, and YZ, he collects. Ping revealed, counter spam is going to be there. Trying to be able to trade this one back. Keeps him in with the advantage. Spike now to be planted, but it's in the hands of Trent. Would love to be the one playing back, holding that Hunter's Fury.
30
Push
seconds
over the
left.
top, Valen maybe with an opportunity, but it is just that stinger that he has. positions, closes the gap. A bit more. Paranoia sent. Quick clear on the dart. No ping reveal. Up and over the top. Goes K-Knight, but Trent will be able to go ahead and hold his own. Spike now being planted. It's a weapon swap. Only has 8 bullets. And Neff will be able to find one more kill, but cannot bail them out, cannot clutch it. G2. The timeout works to get themselves around win.
Yeah, just go to something simple, something reliable. Lock down into Viper's Pit to get the round through for G2. Good call off of the timeout.
You will not kill
This
my
is
ally.
this is where I thought, oh no, it might just all be for naught.
Down A.
Oh, nice reveal there. Set up Jonah P. The fact that Jonah P survives through all this, so huge to keep that pit up. And the running and gunning, and yeah, a little bit of frustration there from Bilibili's coaching staff. Clear the dart. Immediate response with the toxic screen, but fought a little bit of a rotation.
Right here.
Rushi originally over towards A. Just gonna clear that with the pistol. So far, Bilibili doesn't have a ton of info. That drone, though, should kind of start giving away things, though, especially that one.
Deal on the one. YZ playing close here into the corner, and they suspect this bully. Tailwind now expiring. He's got to reposition, but it cannot. Valen will go ahead and collect one. Held at bay now as the reckoning comes through. G2 contained for the moment. The wall similarly does get raised. Neff still in position. That pit at the ready could send it if they suspect that this rotation is going to be started off. Looks like he wants to try to maybe play for a little bit of contact first before sending it.
30
Not going to
seconds
go
left.
over towards green. It's going to be the cut into mid. Smoke out. Under tube approach. Turret now cleared. No real way for this pit to try to come into play. Good timing. Jonah P. Fighting back. Survives with 1 health. Spam through the wall. There's a swing out. Neff dealt with. Valen finds the kill and Rush's position noted. There's still so many angles that they need to check.
Last player standing.
Oh.
G2 ticking every single box. 2 players down to slivers. 34 health between Jonah P and Valen, but there's just nothing more that Rush is realistically going to be able to do about this. As Valen is on the hunt, and he's going to have the jump. The headshot found. G2. 2 rounds now in a row. Just 1 separating them from tying this up.
This is huge. Valen there to deal with YZ and grab the spike. They just pivot to the other side of the map. Have to respect it as BLG, but they get a little bit of a confirmation. Losing that battle up in kitchen to Jonah P with just that 1 HP. That's pretty brutal. You lost the reckoning as well. That got invested early in the round as G2 was trying to scale into sites. You were able to bait out that big ultimate. So now it's going to be Bilibili's turn. Call, pause, try to figure out what they can do to stop this. And pointing at the map a bit there, trying to let his team know what they need to be looking for. I think there were some right ideas there for BLG. Just got outplayed. It's a little bit of a timing. G2 just enough ahead of the curve. The recon dart coming through a little bit late to scout out if they were still holding A main to look if it was going to be a double pump, look if it was going to be a fake. It was not. So now you have to think, okay, looked like we were in cruise control. 2 in a row though. Gets G2 within 1 of Bilibili, and they are going to be on a weak bye. Bladestorm though for YZ, Rushia with the Vandal, Guardian for K-Knight, Stinger and a Sheriff respectively for Neff and Levius.
Would be a thrifty if they could pull it off. K-Knight able to push forward to safety.
Alarm bot.
Grabs the orb, backs away. 1 charge from a Hunter's Fury. Hit still being held onto. This round, it's even riskier, given that it's just that Stinger. Can do damage within the pit, but also very quickly get overwhelmed. Trying to come through. Neff just going to be backing away. Stops himself from being spotted, cannot scale back forward.
Rusia starting to push mid.
Poison orb emitting.
Nobody here with him. He's still gonna let it rip. Hit invested, but Wisey taken down. Shaq winning that fight in mid, takes him down under tube.
Spike planted.
Now walled off. Dogamo just pre-firing it. Says, hey, let me help you with that. And finds the kill as well. This is devastating in multiple ways. G2 regaining control almost completely, as Riyadh not going to be snappy enough. The flank is there, and it's flawless as G2 tied up 11-11.
Trent getting fired up. My oh my. And the pit invested there by Neff is just dismantled by G2. That Sage wall, so impactful again. Not only does it counter the Viper's pit so they can get the plant down, but he's then able to use it against his opponent. And that's got to feel good. That's a timeout for BLG. We do have a Hunter's Fury, so does Trent on the other side. Sending out some of that util early to clear those front positions, those forward areas, gain some map control. But on the other side, BLG has some map control of their own.
They do. It's not leading to too much of anything at the moment. You still have Jonah P tucking back inside of the spawn. He's really done this, but now he's going to be noted. Snake fight out to try to delay. Riyadh scaling forward in garage, but can they get the jump on him? Can they get this kill? A minor tag.
Going up.
Jonah P just saying tucked away. Challenges back in for the fight. Finds some more damage on the YZ, but cannot get that elimination. As shock darts here at Jogamo's feet. Absolutely tear him asunder. Valen going to take it down similarly. So now player advantage is going to be there, and the Hunter's Fury will connect. Spike does get planted. So the clock is ticking, but it's a 5v2. G2, if they can get up the match point off the back of this, likely be back breaking for BLG. The push forward, finds the first. Ends up splitting the difference.
Taken out.
With a fadeaway shot, looking for a little bit more. Finds the kill, nearly gets K-Knight. And with YZ at 33, he would have had a very solid shot of clutching it out, but instead, it's going to be BLG shouting out their teammates, their comrades rather, over on the side of Wolves. With a quick little stand-up, but they find themselves now up to 12.
Yeah, this time around, starting to recognize that G2 has been widely not contesting the front of B main too much. You know, or if they do, they'll be very patient about it. And they're able to punish that, get that flank angle, and great util from K-Knight. The shock darts, really nice, and then the follow-up with the Hunter's Fury. Here you go.
But the kills found, the lockdown available, but this Hunter's Fury's been in the back pocket of Trent. He's going to be one of the big primary targets for BLG. If they can find a kill on him, that ult goes off for free. Now, of course, out of position, dodges the shock dart. Tell G2 have a very good idea of where that Viper is going to be positioned.
Well, that's just to make sure that they're not going to be able to do that three-man setup at B main again. Throwing all that util there just to be extra cautious. It's actually a 4-1 split for Bilibili.
Recon there from K-Knight shows that there's no one playing outside of B. To clear the alarm bot, plenty of footsteps being made. They should know. But this is where they're going to be at, and Jogamo has the read. We're going to be taken out with the responding fire from BLG. It's looking like it's far too much. Hunter's Fury ends up getting cleared, but it's all on Jonah P now on this flank. YZ standing between him and that spike. There's Neff trying to close the gap in from behind. The slow creep forward. He's riding the rope. And BLG are riding off into the sunset as they keep themselves afloat here at EWC.
What a comeback there. It looked like maybe G2 had found their stride, and a timeout eventually works its magic, and Bilibili continues on here at EWC 2025. We will be saying goodbye to G2, but what a fight they put up today.
Tenacious, I think, is the best word to go with here for G2. Against the odds, missing one of their key players, one of the best players in the world in Leaf, and still being able to rally back. I think that taking